Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Mind Body Blend. It's October 1st. What happened to the summer? And here in Minneapolis, boy, we got a quick cold front all of a sudden, didn't we? But we're inside working out together, and I'm so excited for this. We're going to be doing some movements that require ankle movement. Helps us with mobility, balance, and possibly drop foot. So if we lift our foot up like this is called dorsiflexion. If we point it like this, it's plantar flexion. If we move our ankles in, this is called inversion. If we go out, it's called eversion, or I might be opposite, I'm not sure. But we need to move all of those different directions to help us keep our ankles strong and to keep our balance in good shape. What we need today for class is a yoga strap, and we want to have a loop around that strap so that it fits around our thighs in a parallel position for our legs. So either through the D-ring or tie it in a little knot. And then I also have a pair of light to moderate hand weights. Okay, so let's get started. And this is going to be a little bit of Tai Chi Qigong type of movement, but it's also going to involve that flexion and dorsiflexion and plantar flexion of the ankles. So all I want you to do is just sort of rock forward toward the balls of the feet and then rock back a little bit. You might pick your toes up when you rock back. And this isn't very big because we would fall forward or we would fall backward. So we're just shifting our body weight forward and back a little. Good. Now, if you feel comfortable continuing this, we're going to put in one of Judith's exercises for her lymphatic fluid, which is just to reach the arms forward and then just pull the shoulder blades back. So I'm reaching forward as the weight goes into the balls of the feet, and then I'm pulling back, squeezing the shoulder blades as I lift the toes a little bit. And we can add the breathing with this, inhaling forward, filling up the lungs and down into the belly, and exhaling back. 2 more repetitions. And already we have to really work on concentration here so we don't lose our balance. 1 more. Okay, so let's stagger the feet. This is going to make it a lot easier. The right foot is in front, left foot is back. And as we go forward, the back heel is going to come off the ground. And as we go back, the front toes are going to lift. Now, if you want to keep doing the exercise with the row, feel free. Or if you'd like to make this a little bit more Tai Chi oriented, we'll float the wrists up and float the wrists back down. Inhaling and exhaling. Now I do have my back foot turned out a little bit, and that's fine. It helps me to balance a little bit if I have a little external rotation of that back foot, but you can also have your feet completely parallel. Good, let's do 2 more here. And 1 more. Now hold this toe up. You can place your hands right here. You can hold on to a chair as we have the toe in dorsiflexion. And I just want you to go down and up at any pace with your foot. So each time we pull up, we're firing the muscle of the front of the shin. It's called the tibialis anterior. And we're just really going through whatever range of motion we have in the ankle, might be kind of small. And we lift. So the emphasis is the coming up, not the pressing down. Gravity is going to kind of do that. We're controlling that down as well, but the emphasis is on the up. We have 10 seconds. Lift, lift, lift. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the toes up. So keep that isometric contraction, and we'll hinge forward from the hips a little bit and let the back of the leg elongate. So we've got a little hamstring stretch going on. while we're keeping the toes isometrically lifted, contracting through that muscle of the anterior tibialis or tibialis anterior, depends on who you ask. All right, so let's come on up. Great, let's switch the feet. So now the left foot's in front, right foot's back. It's not a big long stride. Maybe the back foot's turned out a little bit. And as we go forward, we can reach the arms. And as we come back, we can either do the row or we can allow the arms just to float up and down. I do like the row because I feel like it activates right between the shoulder blades. And that's nice to open up the chest. But I also enjoy that fluid movement of the Tai Chi. It's just so meditative, graceful, and it gives us a little bit of wrist flexion and extension as well. Inhale, exhale, pull those toes up. 3 more. And 2. And 1. We'll take it back into the back foot, flex the front foot, hold. We can support here or on a chair. And we are going to go down and up, down and up, down and lift, lift. Good. Now, we might feel like one side is a little stronger, maybe weaker than the other. Maybe it doesn't want to cooperate so much, or it might fatigue a little quicker. So we've just got to be patient with our body and see what we can do here. Lift and lift. Good. Coming up on 15 seconds. Pull, pull. Yeah, this one's fatiguing for me quite a bit here. Almost there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Keep that isometric contraction lifting and just hinge forward until you start to feel the stretch down the back of your left hamstring. Maybe even down into your calf muscle since we have the toes dorsiflexed and pulled up. You can hold your chair in front of you or a wall here too, or nothing at all. Just use your core, bracing through the muscles of your spine. And we're breathing deeply in and out through the nose or in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more breaths. And rise up. Excellent. Take the feet back out about hips distance apart or a little wider. And we're going to roll in and roll out to the inside edge of your feet and the outside edge of your feet. And I have my knees slightly bent because I don't want to feel anything going on, in my knees itself. So my hips might be slightly rotating in and out, not too much, but this is mostly in the ankles through inversion and eversion. I think inversion is when we're here because we can see the inside of the foot. I think that's how I remembered it from my kinesiology days. Now what I want you to do is go over to both sides. So I'm rolling to the inside of my left foot, the outside of my right, and then come across and do it the other way. I know it looks a little awkward. Going, what are you doing, Lisa? This is something we haven't done before. That's okay. That's what LisaBug classes are about. We're finding new things that we can do that are positive for our bodies to help with some issues that maybe we're facing, or we want to stave off anything that we could possibly face in the future. And it's good for our brain to move the body in different ways. Good. Let's do 1 more to each side. And back to center and stand. Now I'm going to use a chair for this one just to help me balance a little bit. We'll stand on the left foot, lift up the right, and let's just do ankle circles around. And I want you to make a nice circle. We're not moving the leg. We're just isolating the ankle. So there's a few joints in our body that do an action called circumduction. And this is one of the joints where we can circle it all the way around. And then let's reverse and go the other way. So we're going actually through plantar flexion, inversion and eversion, and dorsiflexion. It's almost like you're combining all of those movements we just did. All right. Now we're going to take that leg down to the foot down to the floor and turn it over so that your toes are tucked underneath, and give yourself a stretch in the top of the foot. So I'll turn a little bit this way so you can see. Now you can either kind of push into your toes or more toward the top of your arch, depending on what you want to do, or you can kind of adjust it a little bit here too. We definitely over the years lose mobility through our toes and through our feet. And so it's good to work on these on a regular basis. Okay, let's switch feet and balance and circle. I'm going kind of at a fast pace, but you can really slow it down and draw that nice circle. We're also getting a little bit of work through the front of the thigh just to hold the leg up. And this straight leg raise was one that I found in my information on exercises good for hip bursitis. Okay, let's switch, go the other direction. So it's nice to, as the saying goes, kill two birds with one stone, or more than two. We're working on several different things here at once. Good posture, a little bit of balance, ankle mobility, working on possibly helping with that hip bursitis. And we're breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, that's fatiguing. Okay, set the foot down on the top of the foot and give a little pressure. You don't have to push it very much at all. It's just a gentle stretch. We don't want to strain anything or really crank it down there. Just with a little pressure, I'm really feeling this on the top of my foot. Couple breaths here. Good morning, Treacle. How are you today? Treacle's making an appearance. Just checking it out, see what's going on. Couple more breaths here, stretching. Nice job. All right. So I asked you to make a little loop with your yoga strap. Some other things you can use if you have a little one of those stretchy bands that loops around your thighs, but I want it to be pretty stable. I don't want it to stretch much at all. If you had a really hard one, that would be good. So mine's too big. Oh, I mismeasured. So I'm going to cinch it up a little bit because I want to be in a pretty parallel squat position. I got to go even a little more. Okay, so I want to push out into this, but still be hips distance apart. And we're going to come down into a squat, any depth, and hold. 60 seconds. So this is isometric exercise. We're pushing out, and it's not at a level 10, maybe at a 5, maybe about half of the amount you could push into that. This is firing the outside of your glute. The squat itself, as we're holding, is firing the back side of the glute, as well as the quads, various other stabilizer muscles through the core. We're halfway, 30 seconds to go. And remember our isometric exercises, there were studies shown that if we do these on a regular basis, they can help us control hypertension, blood pressure. So that's a great reason to do our isometrics. But this is really for glute activation. Chris S., bursitis, this is one of the exercises that showed that helped with that. And also, it's one of my hip replacement exercises. Okay, so let's come up. So I want to keep that around, and I'm going to walk over here so I've got my fingertips on the chair. Come down into that squat, push out into the band. And if you don't have any band to wrap around your legs, just do a squat and hold. That's fine. So what we're going to do is lift the right heel up and down, lift the left heel up and down. So there's not a lot of movement in this strap. So this is really kind of tight, keeping the action on the glutes while we're coming up into plantar flexion. Now, if you need to come up out of this squat at any time, please do, because your glutes are going to really start to get tired. But I'll throw in some breaks also. Nice. One more each side. All right, let's take a break. Come on up. If you need to adjust your strap at any time, if it's starting to slide out, please cinch it back up so you have some good connection. Okay, so that was our level 1. Level 2, come down into your squat. Or in yoga, it's our chair pose. Now we're going to go right heel, left heel, right heel, left heel. You keep going. I've got a little something like a rock under the bottom of my foot. It's probably a piece of cat litter. Treacle just came over and probably left it for me. Okay, so we're going to go right heel, left heel, right heel, left heel. You're pushing out into your yoga strap. Not a level 10, just a comfortable level. 2 more. Ooh, I feel those glutes. 1 more. Take a break. You're welcome. Oh, okay. Now we're going to go left, right, left, right. Sit into your squat. Press out into the band. Left heel, right heel. Left heel, right heel. And you'll notice my head's not rising and falling. So the bend in my knees and everything staying constant as I'm just coming up with those ankles. Now, Esther, I want to hear from you later on this with your feet. I want to hear how you're doing with these. So if you don't stay after for the chat, then I want you to message me. Let's do 2 more. Whoa. 1 more each. Up, down, down, and come up. Take a break. As always with LisaBug classes, I try to do things in a progression. So if the next level isn't working, you know that there's something you can fall back on to keep going. So the next level is to lift both heels at the same time. So let's come down into our squat. Any depth, and we go up and down, up and down. You're slightly pressing out on that strap, engaging your glutes, and just using your chair a little bit for balance. I might get really sassy and try one without. Oh, maybe. Don't think I have the balance for it today. It's funny because if I just barely touch my finger, I can do it. Maybe it's mental. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And come up. I'm stepping on my strap here. Okay. How we doing, everybody? Do we want to stop or can we do 1 more? Okay, so the last one, unless you choose something different, is to hold the squat, hold the heels up, and do little small knee bends down and up. I know it sounds atrocious. Let's try it. So we squat, we press out, we lift the heels, and we're going to go down and up, down and up. Good, I'm not going very much. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, drop those heels down, and you can get rid of the strap. Woo! Shake the legs out a little bit, and maybe walk around. I don't know why this helps, but I don't think it's been studied. But for some reason, when your hips hurt, if you do that, it helps to feel better. Okay, so I want you to pick up your hand weights. And just for reference, I have 5s, but I wasn't really feeling like going super heavy today for some reason, but I might even go down to my 3s. We'll see. So we're going to take a row and move it on some different planes. So if we just stand here and bring our elbows back and down, gravity is in a certain position for the backs of the shoulders and a little bit of the biceps. So we're just pulling back, squeezing through the shoulder blades and releasing. Now at home, you can involve anything else you want with the legs, maybe some other squats or some balance work. But my legs are saying that was good enough for now for my hips. So all we're going to do, this movement's not going to change, but we're going to soften our knees and lean forward a small amount. So I'm not all the way down here. I'm just forward a small amount. I don't know how many degrees that would be. And let's do about 6, 5, 4, controlling each direction, 3, 2, 1. Now maybe 10% further forward, not much. And let's go 6. So each time we change the plane of our body, we change the pull of gravity on the muscles we're working just slightly. 2 more. I'm really only about halfway to level. So let's go about another 10% and pull it up. 6. Now, if at some point your back says, well, that's too far, I want you to start going back up a little bit to change it. 3, 2, 1. I want to get 2 more if possible. Go about 10%, but I'm not level with the floor yet. And let's go 6. Now we're really focusing on drawing our abs in to support our lower back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to go one more time, about 10%. Make sure you're not hunching your back. I want you to flatten it out. Pull it back for 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then rise up. Great job. Turn to face your palms behind you, and you're just going to lift these weights up and back any amount. So we can move a joint to create workload, right? Of course. So right here, I'm moving the shoulder joint to create the workload. Now, sometimes I can keep my shoulder still and move a different joint to change my workload. So I want to demonstrate that. Let's do 3 more. Pushing back. And 2. And 1. Now, what if you didn't have any range of motion to go back like that? How would we get the backs of the shoulders to work? So I want you to keep your arms stable right next to the sides of your body, and you're going to go forward with your body and come back up. You know what? That feels even harder on my arms. It's just amazing because I'm not moving them. I'm moving my hips. I'm changing where the workload is by coming forward like we just were in those rows and coming back up. So let's do about 6 more. This feels really hard with 5-pounders. 5. 4. Nancy Weber, I want to hear from you after class if this is something your shoulder can do. 3. So remind me. 2. And 1, and come up. Good. All right, let's bring the elbows about 90 degrees. So what is working here are our biceps isometrically, but I want to move through a different range of motion that moves the shoulder and the rotator cuff. So I want you to bring your weights to touch and then your weights to go out as far as you can and then back in. Now the resistance isn't really in a place that where our rotator cuff would be the prime mover. Not really. We're moving it, but the resistance is for the biceps. That's okay. As we're getting through a nice range of motion. So if this feels okay for you and you want to stay with this, that's great. Other option I'm going to add is when we open out, then I want you to push the weights away from you any amount and come in. And then when you come forward, you'll push the weights away from you any amount and come in. So it's out. Now it can even be just this, tiny. And forward, reach. So we've got 2 points that we're pressing away, right? One in the front, one in the side. Now I want you to find halfway in between that. So I'm going to come in about halfway, and I'm going to press out from here 6 times. 6, 5. Even if you want to do it without weights, that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Come in, draw the weights in, relax the arms down, take a break, maybe a little shoulder roll. That always feels good after we work through the shoulders. Now we're going to add the forearms into this and change the way that we're holding the weights. So rather than holding them here, I'm going to turn the palms up. I'm going to go back out to that halfway point and take it out now with palms up. 6, 5. This feels much different in my biceps because my forearms are in what we call supination. 3, 2, 1. Come in and relax it down. Now we're going to turn the palms facing down. So if we come here, we're going to rotate them down. Oh my goodness. Go out at that about halfway mark and press it out. 6, 5. It's amazing how one little change in your exercise can really affect it. 3, 2, 1. Come in and down. So now we're going to alternate. One is palms up, one is palms in, and one is palms down. And then we'll keep repeating. So if we start in or up, palms up. Come out about your halfway point. We'll go palms up, palms in, palms down. Palms up, palms in, palms down. Now you can also change the angle of your arms. Let's do 2 more. Palms up, in, and down. 1 more. Palms up, any angle, in, and down, and then relax arms by your side. Excellent. Let's bring our weights down to the mat, and we're going to come into a side lying position. We're going to be working the hips again, and I need you to have your yoga strap. And we're going to be working the rotator cuffs laying on our side, which is going to give us that gravity for the prime mover of the rotator cuff. So I'm going to give myself some padding because I'm going to be laying on some incisions here, which might not be too happy. So I'm going to start on my right hip. You can start on either one because we'll definitely do both. And then I want you to put the strap around your legs in about that same position. So this is like we're going to be doing a clamshell, but we won't be able to move much. So if we lay on our side, if I bring my knees together, this strap should be a little loose, okay? Because I need to open my legs a little bit. Now you can be up on your elbow. You can lay all the way down. I'm going to see which feels better on my incision. I think this does. So what I want you to do for now is keep your feet together, open out into your clamshell, and push. You're separating your legs isometrically and you're holding this. You can take breaks whenever you want. My intention is to hold this while we've got the weight in the top hand to do 10 reps of our rotator. So what that's going to look like is just rotating up with the weight and coming down. So let's get our strap ready. Open into your clamshell, isometric hold, keep it there, and let's go 10, 9, and I'm being really gentle on my press out because of both hip replacements. 7, and 10 is just a suggestion. You don't have to get 10. 6, 5, 4. This is pretty intense with a 5-pounder. 3, but doable. 2, and 1. Relax. Okay, another one for the hip bursitis is extending the leg out straight, pushing up into the strap and holding. So we're going to hold that there, nice and stationary. When we're going to use the weight and rotate out into that rotator cuff, press it up toward the ceiling, come in, and then across. We're just going to do 6. Good. Counting at your own pace. You can do it without the weight, just like this. A couple more. Still pressing that leg up. Once you have 6, relax. Great. Okay, relax that strap. I'm going to press myself up, spin around to the other side. We'll see how the left hip does for pressing on that side. Okay, so our first one, isometric clamshell. So our feet are going to stay together. This is slack when our knees touch, so we're going to open out and push into the strap and hold. We have 10 rotator cuffs. Now this is different. When I'm up on my elbow, the angle of the rotator cuff changes. So I better do it the way I did on the other side. Yeah, there we go. Okay, holding that clamshell, we have 10 external rotation of the rotator cuff. Rotator cuff has 4 muscles. We're just using 3 of them here. And up and down. Nice, comfortable pace. I think I've got 4 more. Press into the band. Tighten those hips. 3. Yowza. 2. and 1. Great, take a break. Okay, the top leg is going to elongate, and make sure your hips are stacked and you lift up and push against the strap. So we have isometric workload. So now our exercise is we rotate, reach, and come back down. With or without weight. If this exercise isn't working, you can go back to the first rotator cuff exercise. 4 more. It's kind of nice to work isometric on one part of the body and isotonic on the other. 3. Who said speak for yourself? 2, or you were just thinking that, right? 1 more. And up and down. Nicely done. Set yourself back up. We're going to keep that strap around the legs, and we're just going to sit into a nice seated position and press outward on the strap, and we're doing the Russian twist. So usually we have one hand weight right at our chest. You can choose to use one or not. We lean back slightly. Then we're going to twist to one side and just try to reach the weight down to the floor, twist to the other side, reach the weight down. And again, without weights is fine. Are you pressing into the strap? Don't forget, because that's our isometric for our hips. So the reason why these exercises are good for the hip bursitis is because we're not moving the joint that often, but we're contracting the muscle. Now, that doesn't mean we can't move the joint, because that's good for bursitis too. But this isometric contraction is good to isolate the glutes without a lot of movement. Let's do 2 more each direction. One more each. Come center and sit yourself up. Great. How are we doing so far? Okay, can we keep this on the hips for a little bit longer? If you need to kind of adjust where it is for comfort of your legs, that's great as well. Okay, so now we're going to go down onto our back into bridge. So let me slide this out. And this is one of my PT exercises. So Shania would be so happy that I'm teaching this in class. So now what we're going to do is press up into a bridge any height, push out against the strap, hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower down. Okay, so that's option 1. You can keep that going. I'm going to move my chair out of the way here. Or we can pick up our hand weights and we can add some arms, because why not, right? We need to keep those arms strong. So the elbows bent about 90 degrees, the palms facing in. Lift up into your bridge, push out and hold that for the lower body. And we're going to press the weights up and down, roughly 10 times. And I have my palms facing inward. So the bridge activates the glute maximus, the big part of the bum. The pressing out into the strap activates the glute medius, which is the outside part of the bum. Let's do 3 more. Press up. 3 and 2. 1. Lower your hips. Now remember earlier when we did an exercise with 3 different positions of the forearms? Yeah, we're going to do it again. So now I want you to turn your palms toward your knees. So your thumbs are towards each other. Lift up into your bridge, push out into the strap, and press it up for 10. Now you can come out a little wider with your elbows on this one. If that feels okay for your shoulders. Make sure you're not pushing the weights up over your face. They're up over the lower part of your chest. Maybe lift those hips a little higher. Maybe push out with a little bit more intensity. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips. Okay, so now the palms turn toward your face. So if I look at the weights, they're facing my shoulders. Lift up into your bridge, push out, hold, and press it up. 10 and 9. And just notice, you might feel just subtle differences between these 3 different arm positions or forearm positions, or you might really feel the muscles activating differently. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips come down and rest. Set the weights next to you so we can give the arms a bit of a break. And we're going to do one more set of bridging and pushing out with some abdominal crunches. So if you like to put your hands behind your head gently to do your crunches, you can. If you like to reach your arms forward, if you want to strengthen your neck a little bit. So our hips come up, press out, and crunch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. For some reason, my left hamstring's wanting to cramp a little bit on me. 5. Not too bad, though. 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. Now you can go back to doing crunches just with your feet on the floor, but pushing out. So no bridge, just to press out. Or you can lift your knees up into table and press out. And let's do 10 more crunches. Bring it up, exhale. 1, 2, maybe reaching through the knees. 3, 4. Keep pressing out. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. Okay, let's slide the strap off of the legs. And we are going to use it to stretch our hamstrings. So place it under the bottom of the right foot and bring it up. So a straight leg raise is great for that hip bursitis, great for strengthening as well, the quad. So I'm going to give you a couple of options here. Option 1, you're just stretching, you're enjoying it, you're not worrying about anything else. That's great. Next option is to pick up your knee and then just to tap your foot to the floor. And this would be hopefully pretty good for low back issues, but you're going to have to try it out and see. And then another option, knee comes up and we're going to reach the leg out. And this is good for my hip replacement, and at the same time, it feels owie. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come back down here. But I want to show you your final option. I'll be able to do a couple of them. Final option, leg is straight, and you're going to lift a straight leg up and down. You know what? This one I can do better than bending and straightening my leg. So I'm going to do 5 more. 4. Whatever your choice is. 3. 2. And 1. Great. Set that foot down. Hold your stretch for another breath or 2. Maybe deepen it. Okay, let's switch sides. Ooh. Just almost to where I can reach my foot. Okay, stretching. Choosing to stay here for the duration and ignore the rest of the exercises. That's fine. Or the knee comes up and the foot comes back down to tap. Or the knee comes up and then the leg extends long. This is my first hip replacement, so it actually doesn't mind this. Or, final option, lift and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit that foot down. Hold your stretch for a couple more breaths. And then release the strap. Okay, both legs up. So we can pull knees up toward the chest, and then we can lift the legs. If you need a little help here, you can hold behind your legs or even use your yoga strap, which is always our friend, to help us lift the legs up. But I want you to keep your ankles free because we are doing plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Point and flex. Point and flex. Now you can also add some abdominal work. So we can reach up and point and flex. Point and flex, or support the head. Point and flex. 9, 8, 7. This is great for bringing the lymphatic fluid back toward the heart to circulate as well as the blood. 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Let's just hold your legs up the wall position for a few breaths. Again, using your yoga strap is great. If you want to do more ankle pumps, that's good too. Otherwise, just relax your feet. Okay, let's come on down. We are going to roll over onto our belly. Let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, good, 9 minutes. Okay, so onto our belly. And I'm going to bring a little bit of a blanket for the front of my hips. And we are going to do hip extension to fire those glutes one more time and to work on the strength of our back. So we come here. And all I'm going to do for now is just make a little pillow for my forehead with my hands. Your legs are nice and straight and long. And we're going to fire the right glute and try to pick the leg up off the floor a little bit. And we're trying to do it with a straight leg, holding. If your knee bends a little, that's okay, but I want it to come from your hip, not from bending your knee. Okay, lower that one down. Now fire the left glute, lift the left leg up, any amount holding. Tense your butt cheek. It's amazing after my hip replacement surgery how weak my glutes are. And sometimes I try to contract them and my brain says, I don't know how. It's really crazy how that works with surgery. Okay, lower down. Now you can do that again, or if you want to add the arms to this, you're going to extend your arms out like Superman. And as we lift the right leg up, the left arm's going to lift and our chest is going to come up a little bit. Holding. 8, 7, 6, 5. Squeeze that right glute. 3, 2, and 1. Come down. Left leg, right arm. Chest comes up a little bit, so we're working the spinal extensors. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Support your forehead again. Now, if you can, try to lift both legs up off the floor. Hold 10, 9. Squeeze both butts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. My physical therapist told me yesterday that not firing your glutes properly is one of the #1 reasons for back pain. So let's work on that in class, shall we? Okay, your last option is full Superman. Both legs, both arms come up. 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. All right, let's push ourselves up. You can come into a downward dog on your mat, or come up to your feet and do either a down dog with your hands on your chair or just a forward bend. I want you to stretch the backs of your legs one more time. Dropping those heels down. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can have some bend in your knees. Try to push off your wrists. And if you're in your down dog, take one more breath. And then either walk your feet toward your hands or your hands toward your feet, or a little combination. Forward bend or half lift. And bring your hands up to your hips. Use the strength of your back body to rise straight up. Bring your fists behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Press your pelvis forward into a little standing camel. Now, while you're holding your standing camel, squeeze your butt cheeks. And then come back up. And let's take a nice big breath together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, and everyone said, ah. Nicely done, everyone. Oh, that was so good. I hope that you felt the same way. If you can stay for chit chat, that would be good. Just a reminder, if you haven't got the email, during the month of October, I can't stay in chat on Thursdays. So if you can stay on Tuesdays, that would be great so we can keep our live chats going. Okay, so I'll get Jitsi to shut off here and we'll visit a little bit.